I'll give you $100 a day to do nothing. Just stand in the square. Will you do it? Mike had just graduated and was brought to the square. The man points to a box on the ground and tells him. He told him he'd get $300 if he stood here until 5 p.m. Mike didn't believe it. The man turned to ask someone else. Mike stopped him in his tracks. He's got nothing better to do now. He came to the box and hesitantly stepped in. The man smiled and walked away, leaving him alone in the square in the sun. After a long time, it was 5 p.m. The man really showed up on time, and he did give him $300. Mike was overjoyed. The man said he was very happy with him. The man decided to hire him to stand here every day for $1,000 a day. Mike was happy to accept. The next day, he changed into a professional outfit. He came to stand in the circle on time. His friends dragged him to a skateboarding party. Mike insisted on standing and turned them down. No one's watching you. Just be back by 5 p.m. But Mike was adamant about keeping his word. He would never leave his post without permission. They left on their skateboards, disappointed, and as he watched their backs go by, Mike was shaken. It's okay to break the rules once in a while, right? He went to the edge and tried the frame, and he took it right back. No one seemed to notice, but he stood there all day. He waited until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but the man didn't show up. I guess you have to follow the rules. The next day Mike was on his way to work. He was almost knocked down by a man. It turned out to be a thief. He took the wallet of a handicapped man. The woman asked Mike to help her catch him, but he said he couldn't go out because he was at work. The woman thought he was joking. She urged him to go after her, but Mike repeated that he was at work. He was at work and refused to help her. The woman was furious and left cursing. Mike didn't know if he was doing the right thing. He felt trapped in this box like a cage. He began to question the point of the job. At 5 p.m. a man delivered $1,000. Mike wanted to ask him what the job was all about, but he thought better of it. The man smiled, turned around and left. Mike looked at his back and wondered, where did the man go? He hurriedly followed him. He followed him into an apartment. Then Mike saw a scene that shocked him. He sat in front of the window and looked in the mirror. They were slowly putting on a clown costume. What was he doing? But Mike soon figured it out. So this was the man's job, just as meaningless as Mike's. Maybe it meant something to whoever hired him, and that's when his fears were put to rest. He worked hard for 10 years, but as he watched the skateboarder's freedom, he was still envious. So he lifted his hand to play with his finger skateboard. It was as if he was back in his college days, but the sudden appearance of his boss immediately interrupted his beautiful memories. The boss patted him on the shoulder and said he was very satisfied with his work. He decided to give him a promotion and a raise. Then he took him to another square. There was a bigger box on the floor. That was his new job. Mike was very happy to see it, because it was a lot bigger than before, and he could look up and see the view. The boss congratulated him and left right away, and Mike stayed on for decades. By now he had gray hair, but the boss was still young. He got his paycheck that day and asked for retirement. The boss quickly agreed, and then he took off in a big hurry. Mike took a long time to step out of the frame. Then he came to the skateboard girl. He traded his Rolex for a skateboard. He held it happily to his chest. He wanted to regain his youthful vigor, but the next moment, he fell to the ground. So what do you think the meaning of work is?